Okay, if you have applications that are using standard SMB protocol, file shares, map drives, whatever, it's going to be pretty important to do this. I'm going to show you how easy it is to work with the file share service provided in Azure.
I'm going to take you through a really quick demo of using a file share. I'm actually going to do it from a virtual machine that I've got in Azure because it's just really clean and you can see it without really anything being in the way. All right, I'm going to go to my, I've got my virtual machine here. I've got an Azure virtual machine. I've connected up to the current portal and I've got my storage account NCG demos. And in NCG demos, if I click on files, I have a file share that I've created called demos. Now, if I click on the file share, I'll get information about the file share. I can actually upload, you can create directories underneath of it, you can delete the share. I can also, if I click here, connect. And that's not actually going to connect, but what it's going to do is give me most of what I would need to connect, either from Windows or from Linux. Now, I can connect from any Windows machine, but I can only connect from a Linux machine that's running in the same region as the file share. This is actually explained on this page because right now the Linux SMB3 client does not support encryption, so share level encryption, so there's nothing I can do there. All right, but in any case, I'm going to do this from Windows, and so I've got this net use here, and it would really just require a drive letter and also the storage account key, which of course the storage account key, if I go back, I can find that for my access keys. Now, this method does require one of your account keys. So, if you've got a legacy application that is using file storage, you don't want to have to refactor it. This could be a solution for that. However, you do, need to understand that it is going to require a key, and it may need some modifications periodically as you refresh the key, which is something you should periodically do. Okay, now what I would do with that, and I have to admit I've kind of already done this, is I would go and just kind of put all that together. And here I've got a net use statement, net use the letter Z, and then the UNC path to my file share, and then the user, which is the account name and the key. Okay, which is fine because I'm deleting this soon, so that key is not going to do anyone any good. All right, and so now I would just come in, let's say, to my command line, and I would paste that in, and there it runs right away. So now if I go to my Z drive, I could run a dir on it, and that's not going to be very exciting. Okay, but I could also come over here and navigate to that and even create a new file. Pop a text document in there. We'll call it new text document because I'm not terribly creative. Okay, and so now I could go back at this point to my portal, and let's go back to overview and files eventually, and I'm getting very excited about, I went to queues somehow. There we go. We'll go back to files. There's files. There's demos. And there's the file. Okay. So now anybody that connects up, maps up to that drive is going to have access to that file. All right. And so that's what the file share does. It gives you Azure-based storage that's going to work like SMB3. So it's going to work with any client that is going to expect that. And we're done.
So that was it. That was real time. That was an Azure account. That was actually my local machine connecting to it. You can set that up and make it very easy to, as Microsoft likes to say, lift and shift applications, lift and shift that storage into Azure from your local file shares.